Hey, what's up? Stephanie, the English coach here from EnglishFullTime.com. Today, we're going to talk about the present perfect tense in English. Now, I know this tense is difficult for many of you because either it doesn't exist in your native language, or if it does exist, it's used differently than it's used in English. So hopefully I can make this tense very, very, very easy for you. The way I see grammar is that grammar is logical in any language. You just have to understand the pattern or how the grammatical structure is formed, and then you have to learn when to use it, situations, scenarios, etc. So if you can understand all of that, something that's very vague and abstract suddenly becomes very easy. So if you really want to get deep into this tense and understand it fully, I highly recommend that you download the guide that I'm going to link in the description. I created a complete guide for you guys that's all about how to use this tense with tons of sentence examples. I spent well over 8 hours making this guide for you, so it is an excellent resource. I think you're really going to like it. So download it, study it, highlight it, take a picture, put it on Instagram, use hashtag EnglishFullTime, tag my account, and show me that you are practicing with this material, and I will keep making more. Also, if this video gets to 10,000 likes at least, then I will know you really like grammar videos and I will make another one. Just let me know what grammar tense you want me to cover next. This is the first grammar video I'm making on my channel, and we have a lot to cover. But before we get started, let's go ahead and thank our sponsor. Lingoda is an online language school where you can study English, German, Spanish, and French with qualified teachers who are native speakers. You can choose from over 1,000 classes and improve your language skills anytime, anywhere. Lingoda offers private classes and group classes. Group classes are small, so this means you'll have plenty of opportunities to speak, ask questions, and get feedback from your teacher. As you progress, you can also get CEFR certificates, ranging from A1 to C2. If you'd like to improve your English with structured classes, dynamic teachers, and passionate students from all around the world, sign up for a free 60-minute trial class using the link below, and use code EnglishCoach to get a special discount on your first month of classes. Again, all the information is below in the description box. This is a great opportunity, so sign up today and take advantage of this wonderful offer. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I'm really happy to share Lingoda with you today. I actually tested their programs myself. I did a French class with them and I did 3 English classes to observe how they're done. I was very impressed. I think online English classes are a great option for anyone who has a busy schedule and is, looking to make a jump in their English from maybe beginner to advanced or intermediate to advanced or something like that. It's a great opportunity for you to have small personalized classes where you can have the opportunity to speak and interact with your teacher, get instant feedback on your pronunciation, ask questions. And when you pay for something, it kind of holds you accountable. You're like, okay, I better do this. I paid for it. So if you are interested in investing in your English, I think they are a great option and super flexible as well with when you can take classes. And the teachers I met, you guys, they are wonderful people. They were so nice. And every class that I did, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is such a nice teacher. Very impressed. Okay, so remember to use the link in the description to sign up, and let's continue with the lesson. Okay, so how do we form the present perfect tense? We use the subject, has, have, and the past participle form of a verb. Let me give you some examples. I have walked, I have played, I have wanted, right? Now you have to be careful with the past participle form of the verb though, because sometimes it's irregular. I have sung, I have broken, I have flown. With irregular past participles, you just have to memorize them. There's really no rhyme, rule, or reason to which is which and how to remember, etc., etc. Just focus on memorizing the list so that you can use these words correctly. Now, when we combine subjects like I, you, he, she, we, they, etc. with have and has, there are several different ways we can do it. Check this out. I have not. I haven't, I've not. Okay, so that's 5 different ways that we can make these combinations. And just a tip for you, native English speakers love contracting words. So if we can use a contraction, we do, okay? It makes you speak a lot faster and it's just easier. So if you can use a contraction, you want to use it unless you're writing a formal academic essay, or if you're trying to emphasize something, you might want to say, no, I have wanted that for a long time. That's when maybe you wouldn't use a contraction for emphasis. Okay, so now let's talk about when to use the present perfect tense. The most important thing to remember is that the present perfect connects the past and the present. So for example, something that started in the past and continues today, like he's been a manager for 7 years. This means he became a manager 7 years ago and he's still a manager today. Another example is, I've been really sick lately. This could mean that I got sick and then I got better, I got sick and then I got better, I got sick and then I got better. Okay, but I've been really sick lately. Like it started in the past and I'm still sick on and off again. Okay, we also use the present perfect when we don't care to emphasize when exactly something happened. So someone could say, I've been to Spain twice. Now, this means they went in the past 2 times, but it's also indicating that they could potentially go again, right? Something that happened in the past and could continue in the future. Another example is, I've had 3 exams this week, okay? So I'm saying that it happened this week, but I'm not telling you exactly if my exams were on Monday, because if not, I would say I had 3 exams on Monday. I'm using the past simple. But if I say I've had 3 exams this week, I'm just telling you that they happened sometime this week, and I'm also indicating that perhaps I will have more exams this week, that they're not finished. I'm not emphasizing that my exams are over. I'm just emphasizing that it has happened. Again, if I say I had 3 exams this week, I am clearly emphasizing that I completed 3 exams and I have no more this week. I had 3 exams this week versus I've had. All right, we can also use the present perfect when we talk about achievements, like she's won 3 Oscars. And notice that I contracted that there. I didn't say she has won 3 Oscars. I said she's won. She's won. She's won 3 Oscars. That is an achievement. And the reason I'm using the present perfect is because she won them in the past, but I'm indicating that she is still an actress and she still has the potential to win more Oscars. So it could continue in the future. On the other hand, if I'm talking about maybe an actor who's no longer alive, I might say he won 2 Oscars. I'm using the simple past because he did it in the past and there's no chance he's going to be doing any of that in the future, okay? Because he's dead. Another way that we use the present perfect is to talk about things that haven't happened yet, but that we expect to happen. Okay, so for example, let's say you had a job interview and I say, hey, did you get the job? And you say, I don't know yet. I haven't heard back from the company. You haven't heard back, meaning they have not called you yet, but you are expecting to get a call back, okay? Another example is, I haven't been to Brazil yet, okay? I am dying to go to Brazil. I cannot wait. A lot of people ask me about this in the comments, but I haven't been to Brazil yet. I haven't gone to Brazil yet. So I have not because I expect to go. I'm not going to say I didn't go to Brazil because that's awkward. It's like when? When didn't you go? You didn't go when in a specific year, in 2013, 14, when you had a specific opportunity? What are you talking about? Using the past simple connects something that happened in the past to a very specific time or instance or occasion, okay? So I could say, oh, I had the opportunity to go to Brazil in 2014, but I didn't go, right? So I had the opportunity at a specific time and I didn't go. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying I haven't gone, meaning I expect to go. I just haven't gone in the past, but I expect to go in the future. So think about things that you expect to happen that have not happened yet. And you can write some examples in the comments. Actually, you can write examples for all of these in the comments just to practice. Okay, another example of something that has not yet happened. Scientists have not yet discovered a cure for cancer. Okay, so why do we say it like this? They have not discovered or have not yet discovered, because we expect them to eventually discover a cure for cancer, right? We also use the present perfect to talk about change over time. So let's say that I see a kid and then I don't see him for 2 years and he gets really tall. And then when I finally see him again, I say, wow, you've grown up a lot since the last time I saw you. Or, wow, you've gotten a lot taller since the last time I saw you. Okay, so that is indicating a change over time. You've gotten taller since the last time I saw you. You've grown up a lot since the last time I saw you. Now think about when you first started learning English. I bet your English has improved a lot since then, right? I bet your English has improved a lot since then. I'm talking about a change over time. Okay, another example of change over time. She's lost a lot of weight since she started the diet. She has lost a lot of weight since she started the diet. Again, I contracted that the first time. She's lost a lot of weight. She's lost. Okay? Change over time. She has lost a lot of weight since she started the diet. She started the diet over there somewhere, and then she's lost a lot of weight over time until today. And she continues to lose weight. Now, if you're talking about a diet that she did a long time ago, and maybe she stopped the diet, gained the weight back, or who knows what, then you would say, yeah, she lost a lot of weight on the diet. She lost it in the past. Maybe it found her again. Just kidding. Okay, now, one of the most common ways to use the present perfect is to talk about life experiences. Like, have you ever been on a plane? Have you ever seen The Office? Have you ever met the president? Now, speaking of life experiences, there is a really common and well-known game that English speakers play. You can look it up later. It's called Never Have I Ever. And there's different variations of this game, but basically it helps you learn interesting things about your friends and whoever you play the game with. So basically you say, never have I ever, okay? And then you say something you've never done. So I'm going to go first and I'll tell you guys some things that I've never done using this sentence construction. And then you can practice in the comments by telling me 5 things you've never done. And then as you guys read each other's comments, you'll find things that people say that they've never done. And if you have done that, you can comment and say, hey, I have done that. So someone can say, never have I ever climbed Mount Everest. But by saying that, maybe you'll meet someone who has climbed Mount Everest, okay? So never have I ever driven a motorcycle. Never have I ever been to Brazil. Never have I ever broken a bone. Never have I ever donated blood, and never have I ever been to Disney World. So again, we use the present perfect to talk about life experiences, and we even have this game, Never Have I Ever, to talk about our life experiences and to figure out what people have done and what people haven't done. So now it's your turn. Tell me 5 things in the comments that you've never done using the construction never have I ever. Okay, so that was a little detour. We still have more to this lesson. There's lots to learn here. But the next thing I want to say is that sometimes a sentence in the present perfect can accomplish multiple functions at the same time. Let's just look at this sentence. I've been a teacher for over 10 years and I've worked with hundreds of students around the world. Hashtag true story. Okay, so here we are showing something that started in the past and continues today. I've been a teacher for over 10 years, right? And I've worked with hundreds of students around the world. But this is also talking about life experience and it's talking about achievements. So remember that all the things I listed previously in the video, like we can use the present perfect to talk about achievements, life experience, etc., sometimes in one sentence we're doing multiple things. Okay, so I hope you guys are hanging in there with me. Things are about to get a little bit more advanced. All right, let's compare the following sentences and analyze what the difference is between these 2 sentences. They cannot grow their business until they get some investors. Or they cannot grow their business until they've gotten some investors. What's the difference? It's so subtle. It's very subtle. Basically, the sentence that uses the present perfect tense is emphasizing that one action must be completed before the other action can happen. It is about emphasis, okay? They're essentially saying the same thing, but one is placing more emphasis on the fact that something has to be completed before the other thing can happen. So they cannot grow their business until they get some investors. It's kind of matter of fact. They cannot grow their business until they've gotten some investors, meaning it's absolutely impossible for them to grow their business until they've gotten some investors. Again, essentially they are saying the same thing. The difference is very subtle, but sometimes this emphasis is necessary. If you're a freelancer, for example, a lot of freelancers take payment after they've completed the work, but then they run into experiences where their client doesn't pay or they pay late. So what I've done, and the freelancers that I work with, they all say the same thing. We do not begin our work until we have received the payment, okay? Or we will not begin until we have received the first payment, okay? Basically ensuring I need to receive payment first, and then I will begin the work, or then I will turn in the work, or whatever the arrangement is. Okay, so we can also use the present perfect with the passive voice. I know a lot of you guys hate the passive voice and you hate the present perfect, so this is probably the worst combination in the world. But again, my goal is to make it easy for you. I hope I'm making it easy. Please let me know in the comments if this is making more sense. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we form the present perfect in the passive voice? We use has or have plus been plus the past participle, okay? It's actually pretty easy. Gold has been associated with wealth for centuries. The lost dog has been found. Once the car has been washed, then it can be painted. Remember, in the passive construction, we're not emphasizing the subject of the sentence. We're not emphasizing who does the action. We are just emphasizing the result, okay? Like the lost dog has been found. Who found the dog? We either don't know or we don't care, okay? But the dog has been found, yay. Next, we're gonna talk about how the present perfect can be used in sentence clauses. Now remember, a clause is simply a group of words where you need a group of words to express something, okay? But it's not exactly a complete idea. Let me give you some examples so this makes sense. Whenever I've made up my mind, okay? Whenever I have made up my mind. So that is in the present perfect. But when you hear that by itself, does it make sense? No, because it's a clause. It is a group of words, but by itself, it does not make sense. Whenever I've made up my mind. But now let me put this in a sentence for you so you see the big picture and you see how this works. I'll let you know my final decision whenever I've made up my mind. Okay? I don't know what I'm going to decide right now, but I will let you know my final decision whenever I've made up my mind. Okay, next. Weight I've dropped this month. That by itself does not really make sense, right? But what if someone says, oh my goodness, I cannot believe the weight I've dropped this month, right? We're talking a lot about diets in this video, aren't we? Oh, wow. Okay. I can't believe the weight I've dropped this month. Now we are going to do a clause that is in past participle form, okay? Which have been considered the most valuable gemstone for centuries, right? That doesn't make sense alone. Which have been considered the most valuable gemstone for centuries. Now let me put it into a sentence. Diamonds, which have been considered the most valuable gemstone for centuries, are actually not that rare. Diamonds, which have been considered the most valuable gemstone for centuries, are actually not that rare. Next, although we've been friends for many years, right? That alone by itself is incomplete. You can just hear that it's incomplete. Now let me finish it. Although we've been friends for many years, we still disagree on many things. Although we've been friends for many years, we still disagree on many things. Okay, so now we are going to cover some common phrases that we use with the present perfect tense, okay? Now it's really great to have these phrases in your repertoire, okay? To just have them in your mind, in your memory, at the front of your brain. So you can just use them whenever you need them. The first one is, where have you been? Okay? Hey, where have you been? Like, let's say someone has been your, I don't know, your dad, your mom. Do you live with your dad and your mom? Maybe your wife, your husband, your kid, I don't know. Someone's been gone all day and they come back and you're like, hey, where have you been? Like, you don't know, so you're asking, okay? Where have you been? Where have you been? Next, I haven't seen her in years, or I haven't seen him in years, or I haven't seen them in years, okay? I haven't, something that hasn't happened for a long time and continues to not happen. That's a little bit awkward because it's a negative sentence, but it still makes sense logically if you think about it. Something that hasn't happened and continues to not happen, right? Okay. Maybe draw a diagram so that can make sense or something if you're struggling with it. We haven't talked in ages. We haven't talked in ages. I haven't heard from him in a while. I haven't heard from him in a while. I haven't gotten around to that yet. So for example, Renzo has been asking me to make a rather important phone call for a couple weeks. I have been so busy, I literally haven't gotten around to it yet, okay? I haven't been able to do it. Or in my case, I have not prioritized it above the other things I've been doing just because I've been so busy. Next, I've had a rough day, or some people might say I've had a tough day. I tend to use rough. I don't know why. It just feels better. I've had a rough day, okay? Tough just seems eh. Anyways, but people do use it, okay? I've had a great day. I've had a rough day. I've had a great time. Another one is, have we met before? If you're meeting somebody and you're not sure, I think this is a pickup line that guys use also. Have we met before? When they know they didn't actually meet the person. Anyways, I could be wrong, but I feel like I've seen that in movies a couple times, so it probably happens. If you're a guy, maybe you can try that and just, let us know if it works in the comments. Next, has anyone seen my, and then whatever you're looking for. Has anyone seen my keys? Has anyone seen my wallet? Has anyone seen my baby? I'm just kidding. Has anyone seen my phone? Okay, so that pretty much covers the many ways that we use the present perfect tense. Again, if you really want to dig into this and keep studying and get lots of examples, then please download the guide that I've linked in the description. It's absolutely free. And I'm still, at the point of making this video, I am still working on it. It's almost finished, but it's already like 10 pages long, okay? I'm trying to make it as concise as possible, but the reality is there's so much information to share and examples that I want to give you so that it all comes together and makes sense. So it's a bit long, but I think you're really going to like it, and I think it's going to help this whole tense make sense. Now, before I end this video, I just want to share a couple mistakes that people make with the present perfect tense so that you can avoid these mistakes. The first mistake is basically not knowing your past participles. You have got to memorize the past participles because if you don't, you will use these incorrectly. So to give you an example of this and to throw Renzo under the bus a little bit, when we were dating, it had been like a few months or something like that. And when he realized how quickly the time had gone by, he said, "Wow, time has really flowed up, hasn't it?" And I was like, flowed up? What is this guy talking about? For those of you who don't know, my husband is not a native English speaker. And when we met, his English was not that good. Okay. So anyways, he said time had really flowed up. And when I finally realized what he was trying to say, I was like, oh my gosh, he was trying to say that time had flown by. So yeah, memorize your past participles. Another mistake that I've seen is students using contractions where they shouldn't use contractions. Let me give you an example. If someone asks you, have you seen that movie? You can say, yeah, or yes I have, okay? But don't say, yes, I've. Yes, I've. Okay, don't contract it right there. Contractions don't go at the end of sentences. They go at the beginning or somewhere in the middle. So don't end your sentence with a contraction. Next, if someone says, have you gone to the bank? And your answer is yes, that you went this morning, don't say, yes, I have gone to the bank this morning, because this morning indicates a specific time. And remember, with the present perfect, we're not indicating a specific time. You could say, yes, I've gone to the bank. But if you're going to indicate a specific time, you need to use the past simple and say, yes, I went to the bank this morning. Okay, the last thing I want to say is that in sentences, we can often combine multiple tenses. In this video, I tried to give you sentences that focused mainly on the present perfect without combining any other tenses, because I don't know how well you know those tenses and I didn't want to confuse you. But for example, the sentence, have you ever wondered what life would be like if cell phones had never been invented? Have you ever wondered? That is in the present perfect tense, but everything that comes after that is in different tenses, okay? So we can combine conditional tenses, present perfect, past simple, future, etc., but there's always going to be a rhyme and a reason to everything. It all depends on the specific idea you're trying to communicate. So remember that grammar is very precise. It's used to communicate very specific ideas. As you saw earlier in this video, A small difference can make a very subtle change in a sentence, but it's still a change nonetheless. The constructions don't mean exactly the same thing. So a lot of this might not make sense in the beginning, but now that you're aware of it, and as you see this tense more and more and more, you will start to internalize this grammar tense. You'll start to understand how to construct it naturally without having to think, okay, I have to put the subject here and the past participle here and this. You won't have to think about any of that. And you'll start to understand the tense the way native speakers do, where we just know how to use it, but we might not even be able to explain how we know or why it needs to be used that way. We just say, I don't know, that's the way, that's right, that's the way it's supposed to be used. Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to this channel if you're not a subscriber yet. And again, if this video gets to 10,000 likes, then I will know that you guys really appreciated this grammar lesson and want more. Just let me know in the comments which grammar lesson you want next. And don't forget to check out Lingoda. All right, you guys, that is it, and I will see you in the next video.